Welcome everybody back to Friar Talk. Today we are back. Unfortunately, we're going to be talking about some pretty rough news today. As we know, yesterday Peter Seidler, or yesterday we're recording this on Wednesday. This is going to come out on Thursday, but on Tuesday Peter Seidler passed away. A very rough day for Padre fans. Very rough day for the whole San Diego community. A guy that was awesome for sports, awesome for baseball. Seemed like a fantastic human being. So it's a tough time right now for the Padres. We saw you Darvish kind of give some flowers. We saw people all across the MLB world just kind of give their thoughts about Peter Seidler, and it's a really sad thing to see happen. Especially Isaac and I were talking before we hopped on, but he's easily the best owner the Padres have ever had in our lives, and what he was building was so cool and unique. Where he was taking a small market team and trying to build them into a larger market, trying to do something, trying to not make the sport about a cash flow, about revenue, and make it about building a good team that's going to win and turn that into something for the future. And unfortunately, he passed away and didn't really get to see it through. But overall, I mean, really sad. He seemed awesome. Every time you hear an interview, Potter fans, everyone loved him. Everyone was hyping him up. So it's a really rough time, and it's really unfortunate news. So our thoughts to the Seidler family and everything like that. But Isaac, your thoughts on this unfortunate news that dropped yesterday?
It's a really tough loss for us Padre fans and players and the whole organization. I'd assume. I mean, you can't really put into words the things that he tried doing as the owner of the Padres, and I'm forever going to be thankful for the product that he was putting on the field because, like we mentioned this before we even started. We had said, as far as Padres owners go, especially in our lifetime, or really ever, I would say, except for the few good teams that they've put out, the Padres haven't really been known to spend this kind of money. They haven't really been known to go get superstars like Manny Machado, Xander Bogaerts, have a budding superstar in Fernando Tatis Jr., pay the budding superstar in Fernando Tatis Jr., go out, give contracts to you, Darvish, Joe Musgrove. It was Peter Seidler who was willing to do all of that. And, it showed in how many fans showed up to the ballpark. And it's very unfortunate how last season went, considering it was the last one he got to see as owner of the Padres. I hope that beating the Dodgers was everything that he would have wanted, because for anyone who remembers, he wanted to slay the dragon up north, and he was able to see that, and we were all able to see that and appreciate it for what it was. But it's a very unfortunate loss. Thoughts and prayers go to the Seidler family. I know he has kids and a wife it's very unfortunate what has transpired, and I hope that we can continue to provide support for that family, because they absolutely deserve it. Continue to keep Peter Seidler in our thoughts, and carry on his legacy in terms of just keep showing up to the ballpark, man. That's what he would have wanted, right? That's what he loved to see. He loved to see us all going to the ballpark, filling up the stands on a Monday night, Tuesday night, Wednesday night, whatever it was. That's what he put those players out on the field for, to see us have smiles on our face watching some of our favorite players. So I think that's the best way to show our appreciation for what Peter Seidler has done for this organization, for us fans. I mean, nothing but glowing words throughout Twitter, throughout the players, everything like that. Even Trey Turner had some glowing words about Peter Seidler, saying, "Hey, even when I decided to sign with the Phillies instead of the Padres, he was still so nice to me and greeted me, with nothing but respect." So nothing but glowing words about Peter Seidler, and that rings throughout the whole baseball world, and throughout all of the Padres organization, us fans, players, everyone. And it just shows how good of a person he was, and I hope that his family will find peace soon.
Yeah, absolutely. And you brought this up too, but you talked about his family and stuff, having kids, having a wife. He was only 63 years old, which is really the toughest part because, I mean, he had that's the part that hurts. I feel like whenever you hear that, like, it's just like, man, like this guy wasn't very old. I mean, he had cancer before, and when everything was kind of going on, it seemed like he was good. He kind of gave the green light, like, hey guys, I had this medical procedure. I'm good to go. So I was shocked when I heard the news. I actually heard it because Isaac texted us, and I was like, "Wait, what?" Like, I didn't really register with me because it was just kind of like a crazy moment, and I was not expecting that whatsoever. So really, really unfortunate stuff. Um, we kind of briefly touched on like how much what he was trying to build in San Diego, and even though this last year was disappointing, I mean, if you look at the Padres from around 2010 to or maybe like 2012 to where they have become now. I mean, at the beginning of when he bought the Padres to where they've become, and you look at not last season, but the season before, the playoff run, stuff like that. They're building something that's a lot different, that's very unique. That the Rangers are building something similar, where they kind of went with the same strategy of how they're going to build their team. So, I guess another question I kind of have for moving forward, and definitely don't have the answers, is what's gonna happen to the Padres? And I think that's something that we're all just gonna have to kind of wait and see. I don't think we know. We don't know what ownership is gonna look like. We don't know if his family's gonna take over ownership. We don't know if they're gonna kind of go with the same mold, the same kind of ownership strategy that he had in terms of spending. We don't know if they're gonna sell the team. There's so many unknown questions right now, and I don't think it really makes too much sense to speculate what that's gonna look like. But I think it's fair to say that it's gonna be really hard to expect that someone's gonna come in that was as good as Peter Seidler. So, that's kinda where I'm at it, like, I don't really want to, like, just kinda guess, like, "All right, what's the future gonna be?" Because I know a lot of people are probably asking that question, like, "Well, okay, well, what happens now to the Padres?" We have no idea. I mean, we just have to kind of see how it rolls out. I think this offseason is gonna be extremely weird and unique because the Padres have to add a lot of pitching, and they don't really have money to spend. Don't really have an owner in place. Like, it is a very strange time, but I think in terms of kind of the baseball fan side of it, I think it's just a wait and see moment because the more important part is like what's the aftermath of Peter Seidler passing away. And so it's really sad what's going on, but Isaac, do you kind of feel the same way about like what the future holds for the Padres?
Yeah, who knows what it holds, man? I mean, it's fresh. It's fresh. Nobody knows what's going to happen here in the near future. Nobody knows who the ownership group's going to be or anything like that. We don't know what's going to happen, and I don't expect to know what's going to happen for a little while. I expect everybody to grieve the loss, and everybody within the organization to grieve the loss, and it's unfortunate that you know um, they're going to have to operate without him. And I think that's going to be a very tough thing to do for the first few months, maybe even longer than that, because you lost a guy that was trying to create a brand, not just, I mean, who thought of the Padres when they thought of baseball? Nobody. Now, the Padres are one of the marquee teams when you think about baseball because of Peter Seidler willing to spend money to go get Manny Machado, Xander Bogaerts, all these guys that shit, I never thought would be in a Padres uniform. I never thought Xander Bogaerts was going to be in a Padres uniform or Manny Machado ever. Let alone that I think we're going to have a superstar in Fernando Tatis Jr. or trade for Juan Soto and potentially extend him. I never thought that would be possible. And because of this guy, Peter Seidler, it was made possible. And he's gotten so many new fans into baseball. He's got so many butts in the seats at Petco Park. He's created so many new baseball fans, man. The Padres are like one of the coolest things in sports right now because of Peter Seidler's willingness to go out and put a good product on the team. Did they do good last year? No. But they're still a fun team to watch, and everybody expects them to be a fun team to watch for the next few years. Were they fun for us to watch? No, probably not, because it was excruciatingly painful to watch them not make the playoffs. But for an average baseball fan, to be able to see multiple superstars on the field, I can imagine it's pretty fun, and that's his goal. He wants to create new baseball fans. He wants to show everybody that, hey, baseball is the best sport. Baseball is the best sport to watch. Baseball is the best sport to go attend. And shoot, it sure looked like it if you went to Petco Park, if you heard Petco Park. That was his goal, and I would say he accomplished it in the time as a Padres owner. So, a lot of props to him, and it's unfortunate that, us as Padres fans and the Padres organization is going to have to operate without Peter Seidler. Again, before I talk about anything else, I wish nothing but the best for his family and, his daughters and yeah, it's very sad. I hope that they as Padres fans and the Padres organization continue to support them during a tough time. But yeah, man, I don't know what's going to happen as far as the organization goes and ownership and money and all that, but we'll figure that out as time goes. Right now, we just we're gonna honor Peter Seidler and focus on the good that he did for this sport, man. Not just the Padres, but this sport, because it got to the point where other owners of small market teams were getting mad at us for spending so much money, getting mad at Peter Seidler for spending so much money, when that shouldn't be the case. There should be more owners like Peter Seidler going out there and saying, hey, I want to put a winning product on the field. I want to get more fans in the seats. How can I do that? If you want a model on how you can do that, Peter Seidler is the pinnacle of how you do it.
Yeah, it's absolutely true. So I think it's gonna do it for us today. But yeah, Isaac said it. I mean, thoughts to their family, and I also do hope that the Padres do continue to support the Seidlers. I think they will. I mean, it seems like they're very connected, and like obviously there's a lot of like love to go there. So overall, though, I think that's probably gonna do it. Tomorrow we're gonna have an episode on Blake Snell. Side note, on a more positive note, congratulations, Blake Snell. He won the Cy Young today, even though we kind of all knew that for like the last like month or so. But he officially won the Cy Young today. So we're gonna talk about Blake Snell tomorrow, and he's been rumored to the Padres somehow. So we're gonna discuss that as well. But that'll be tomorrow's episode. Thank you all for listening, and yeah, it's gonna do it. Have a great rest of your day, and we'll talk to y'all soon. See ya.